Binnington stands tall as Canada's men's hockey team wins their opener against Czechia. Hey everyone, Rob Wong with you. Pleased to be joined by Postmedia's Patrick Johnston, who is in Milano Cortina covering the Canadian men's hockey team. And Patrick, it was a 12-year wait, but definitely worth the wait. Canada picking up a huge 5-0 win in their opener at the Olympic hockey tournament. And coming in, a lot of question marks about Jordan Binnington and how he would perform as the starting goalie for Canada, at least in game number one. He answered a lot of questions, 26 saves for the shutout. What did you make of the performance?
Well, gave them what they needed, right? Like, I mean, John Cooper noted, they were early on, especially early on, the Czechs were kind of pushing a little bit, and was asked to make a couple pretty solid stops, and he did it. Listen, he is not the perfect goalie. We know that. But all Canada needs is a guy that just is going to make the save, right? Like, they don't need him to stand on his head. They just need a guy that's not going to look out of his depth. And against Czechia, you're exactly right. Like, he was solid. He was quality. Certainly an underrated element, I think. And it was something that, I was talking to a couple of goalie people about this, and it was highlighted. I think Mark Stone highlighted it when I talked to him, was his ability to play the puck behind the net. Like, the boards here are different. I wrote a little story about this. The corners are more shallow, so the puck comes around a bit more quickly. And so maybe there were a couple of plays he didn't actually get to, but his ability to move the puck, and of course, we think about that Nathan McKinnon non-goal, happens entirely because of Bennington's ability to get the puck up the ice. When you play better teams, when they run into teams in the quarterfinals and hopefully the semis in the final, like that will be harder. Those chances will be hard to come by, and of course, he'll be facing much tougher shooters. But I would say the overall package, the way he played, and honestly, the way the defense core played in front of him, right? They kept most of the stuff to the outside. The Czechs rarely were inside. David Pastrnak had a couple moments. Martin Necas had a couple moments. But really, the story in this one was how well the Canucks play, or the Canadians played with the puck and moved the puck up the ice. And just, even though they gave up, I mean, I'm astounded to hear the shots against figure, because it just didn't feel like a game where the Czechs really had much going, other than maybe in the first 10 minutes and maybe a little push at the beginning of the second period. It was a remarkable all-around performance, a fast-paced performance, a team that showed certainly the depth at forward we knew they had in all aspects, and exactly what I think Canadian fans were hoping for, as you said, 12 years after the last time we saw NHLers in the Olympics.
Well, it's interesting. The shot counter, as we mentioned, 26 for Czechia. And if you rewind it back to 2014, that was very much a defensive-minded team. They were not out here trying to push the pace and score goals, but it does seem as if John Cooper wants this team to play differently with the lines that he has put together so far in this one. It is Czechia. You mentioned the competition. It's not going to be the same once Canada progresses into this tournament. But what did you make of the style of play as far as what John Cooper wants this team to do?
Well, he was asked about this after the game, and essentially saying, was that the fastest game you've ever coached? And he said, well, let's think, if I hadn't coached in Four Nations, I would have said yes, right? Like the first period against Sweden, I think everyone he has talked about as being one of the fastest periods ever played. The whole tournament, really, the way that team played. I mean, this was a carryover from what Cooper and his coaching staff were looking for last year. And playing to their strengths. It's really amazing. And the choice to put Sidney Crosby on his own line, which doesn't feel like it should be a talking point, but yet here we are, because there is so much depth. And of course, last year he had some success playing on the wing with Nathan McKinnon. Like, this was a role where Cooper said, we're just going to be relentless, and we're just going to grind you into dust. And I thought that, especially in that first period, that Crosby line with Marner and Mark Stone was just absolutely astounding in the quality of play. We was talking with a couple of guys in press row there. We were just saying, honestly, you put the three smartest guys on the team, probably the guys with sort of the highest hockey IQ, which says a lot given the hockey IQ of Connor McDavid. But the three guys that are just that's what they're known for, and you put them together. That line was so tremendous. And obviously Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid throwing the first big hit of the game, like that told you everything you needed. And then the fact you got a hit from McKinnon, and it wasn't even guys like Colton Parayko that you would think of, or Tom Wilson. This team was so fired up and so engaged, a real carryover from what they had last year. I asked John Cooper on Wednesday, basically saying, what the heck are you actually able to accomplish in 3 days of practice here. This isn't preseason where you're trying to build up a season long system or, mid-season form for any, whether you're the Tampa Lightning or Toronto Maple Leafs or the Vancouver Canucks or the Boston Bruins. Teams are trying to tweak things as the season goes along. This is a whole new roster, right? A whole new lineup. And I said, in the end, what are you actually accomplishing in these practices? And he said, more than anything, it's getting that camaraderie going again. That the way this team bonded last year, obviously in their Four Nations experience, you need to bring that back, and that's kind of the efforts. And obviously integrating some new faces like Bo Horvat, like Macklin Celebrini, this was getting this group on the same page emotionally as much as anything, because the systems, I mean, they'll, in the end, you let your guys play, right? You're going to say, watch out for this, watch out for this, watch out for this, but fundamentally, if you let this team go, you just turn the key and let the players do what they do best. I mean, that's what we saw here tonight, and hopefully we'll see again on Friday, and we'll see again on Sunday. This is a fast and furious tournament now. The whole idea of it's only 2 weeks. I mean, it's only 10 days. I mean, it's wild to think that by Sunday we will already be done the preliminary round, right? It's an intense, fast tournament. And this team has started off on the right foot.
And I think if there's one thing you're happy to see if you're the coaching staff is that they progressively got better as the game went on as well. So by the third period, they looked like they were sort of in mid-tournament form. But an impressive start for Canada, 5-0 over Czechia, right back at it on Friday as they face off against Switzerland.